And we're live.
Hey everybody, it's Don, Mark, and Amber for the My Advisor program. Thank you all for being here. Today's going to be a fun day, and today the charming gentleman in the brilliantly blue shirt there will be our most featured person because there are a few people on the planet who have more experience at doing what he is expert at doing. So, and we're going to get to that. And it's something that I think you'll find, I know you'll find, will be extremely helpful in everything you do. To start off with, Mark's a great part of his career in marketing has been around what's called authority marketing. And Mark, why don't you lend that brilliant British accent on it and talk a little bit about authority marketing, and then we'll bring it back around to how it helps everybody in everything they do.
Yeah, authority marketing just means that you put yourself in a position where you become the authority in your niche for whatever your particular product or service is. And it's done in a number of ways. Traditionally, it used to be done by speaking about things, latterly by writing books, but nowadays it's done by video and by doing webinars and maybe podcasts. It's a very powerful position because you become the respected authority about all things that your niche is to do with. People come to you, and if you say something, well, it must be true.
Perfectly stated and succinct too. I guess I'll have to fill up all the space, as anybody who's been on my calls knows. And so the way this sort of evolved and the way we jumped to this training today versus anything else is that we were on the calls last week. We're talking with it. We have a number of folks who are participating in our seminar webinar hybrid, which I went into at length last week, and I did a recording. If you didn't see that, Amber, would you send out that recording, that like little 10-minute explanation I did about what we were doing to everybody at the end of this? Anyway, you'll see it again. But the bottom line is what we see and what we know works is using social media to drive people to video. And we've talked about video so many times. Video, I cannot overemphasize how much authority it brings to you, how much it elevates you, how much it distinguishes you, how much it improves the pull that you get from the market, and the results you get. And so as we're talking about videos and we're talking about the folks we're working with, we're creating a number of videos. We're creating videos to giving them presence, giving them a presence on Facebook and on a Facebook page, specifically around what they do and their programs, and giving that video in it, having a video that draws them to that. When they go there, having a short video that entices them to click and learn more. Then when they click and learn more, seeing a video of you that gives them a taste of what's coming. It tells them what, not how, and it does it in 5 to 8 or 9. You don't want to go too far, depending on how long the points are. 5 to 8 or 9 sort of sizzle points, bullet points, where you say, here's a huge trap, and there's a solution for that, and here's this, and if you don't do this right, so you got to make sure you do this just so, and you got to learn how to do that, and blah, blah, blah. Basically, you tell them all the things. You carrot and stick them, right? You tell them all the things where they're going to get beaten. Like, here are all the things that are bad they're going to happen to you. But then here are all the things great that could happen to you if you do it. So if you don't do it, this is bad. If you do it, this is good. And as we were talking about making videos about that and all that stuff, I was talking about, taking part of a webinar, doing all that. And then Mark did what Mark always does, which is he came in with this, again, short, pithy, perfect solution, which was it was an epiphany for me. I went, oh my God, that's exactly right and perfect. An interview, us interviewing you for a Money Expert podcast becomes the video that we use to invite people, to give them a taste of what they're going to get, and then invite them to your webinar. Now, even if you don't have a webinar, you're not doing that, having this video gives you something to share people, and again, whet their appetite. Everything we create in video is an asset that can be used over and over and over, repurposed and done again and again and again. It is so valuable to create a library, a reserve of videos that you can use. And, as I said 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, video is, you look at the stats, everything's video. If you're not doing video, you are absolutely, you've missed the boat, and the boat's now going over the horizon. Okay, it's gone. So
it's been taken by pirates.
Exactly right. So the idea, again, is it's imagine how easy it is to make a video, and this is how it works. If we're going to do a video with you, we will set you up with high-def camera, a great microphone, and then all you have to do is sit there. We will create the questions between us. I'll articulate it down. We'll help you formulate your answers, and then I'll ask the questions and sort of coax it all out of you, so that you can't really, get it wrong. Not that you should, because it's what you do anyway. But I'll, whatever you decided you were going to say, I'll make sure you say it. And that video is the kind of thing that, first of all, the great thing about being a video is that, and being a sequence of questions, if you get it wrong, we just ask the question again and edit that out, because it's just you sitting there, so we can break. And so it's not like doing a webinar where you have to do everything perfect. You can do this. It takes some post-production. You want to, the webinar, especially the short stuff. If you're doing a little short piece, it needs to be virtually perfect. So every little and breath and everything, when you edit it down, 2 minutes and 50, a 37-second video might be edited down to 27 or 29, because you'll take out all these little pieces of it. But you want every second. It's got to grab people right away. It's got to do it. The interview video needs to be coherent. It needs to be fairly smooth, and need to make sure you're touching all the parts. So if we went through and you did it, you gave an answer and you didn't get it right, no worries. Okay, you know what? Do it again. All right, and I ask the question all over again.
Yeah. Nice and easy.
Yeah. And think about the process. Somebody sees a video, and I'm going to use the example of we've already started with someone. So we did one for one of our guys, Frank, who's on the phone but not on the camera. We started working on one that is for he does tax-free retirement planning. And so, Mark, do you want to pull that up? We can share that with you.
Which bit would you like pulled up?
Let's start off with, we haven't done an ad yet, but we did do the landing video.
We've done a video, yeah. Give me 2 seconds to get into that. Yeah.
So essentially, the way it works is the ad is something that grabs them by the throat, and they go, "What? Huh?" And that has to get them literally in the first instant. When they click the ad, they are going to land at the landing page, which is on, in the same place as in Facebook. And that ad will open up another video. And the second video is going to be brief, but it's going to talk about their points of pain. And then it's going to say, click below to get more information. And I think we'll play that for you right now, just so you can see what it looks like and the kind of thing that you can sort of transfer people with. The guy who does the voiceover is an idiot. We're firing him, but the rest of it's fine.
Give me a sec. I need to get the right page.
Just like you tell us all the time that retirement planning is so confusing.
I need to get the right video.
That's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one.
That was the placeholder you threw in.
Yeah.
That's another thing, that when we're building things, a lot of times we'll throw in a video. It could be about, fishing or something, as long as it's just something to hold the place while we build the page.
All right, so let me just share this page here.
Okay.
There we go. Take it, you can all see that.
Okay, so this isn't by any means complete, but this is how we're starting, and roll it up so they can read sort of what's under the page while they're listening to the see the video, but read so they can see what the little trick is that we used in this one, the one that you had us use. Remember the extra info? So we'll just play you the video. This is just startup. Note the professional looking intro.
Wealthy people don't use tax-deferred retirement plans for very good reasons. By using little-known strategies used largely by the very wealthy, it is possible to create a far larger retirement income with absolute confidence that it will be there when you want it and need it most. In the next short video, we will share the 6 ways that the government will have its hand in your retirement savings and how you can prevent it. These strategies have been serving the very wealthy for over 100 years. Click the button below to find out more.
Now, if you'll notice the video, and you have the intro and the outro, right? So that makes it look professional. If you'll notice, all the words in that video are right below it except the last line. And that's Mark's experience and genius saying, you give them a little more than they see so they know there's more to get. Which is that's the expert trick. That's the expert tweak. So that starts there, and then when they click on the instant access, now here's where we're just building. So we haven't had an opportunity to interview Frank yet, but Frank, we've already been working on the questions. Matter of fact, we got the questions lined up, and I might pull Frank onto the phone to say how he feels about the questions. Can we pull Frank up? Can I pull up Frank?
So it's difficult with a caller, but I will try my best here. So he's allowed to talk, and I have unmuted him.
Frank, are you there?
Well, the unmute button is not working, so there we go.
He's there, yeah. Frank Lehane, you are unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a terrible connection. All right. Never mind. Mute him back. That's terrible. We can't hear what he's saying. All right. Anyway, what we did with Frank was Frank gave us some basic information. He said, here's what I like to do. This is the stuff I want to do. And because I've been a financial advisor and because I'm very familiar with the tax-free programs, we were able to carve that into 6 very succinct questions with some great answers. And then Mark and I did it. We made a little video about it, and we shot that to Frank. And I think all I wanted to get from Frank was that it was incredibly easy. I mean, Frank goes, I love my list of Frank doesn't do's, or what does he say? For Frank, not to do for Frank. So I think he kept saying, I love that list. Basically, we put that together, and when we sit down and do that video, I think today or tomorrow he gets his high def stuff, his high def camera, and his microphone in, and we've got them all set up. We already picked out the room we're going to have them in, and everything else. And in very short order, we'll sit down and we'll do that interview, and probably take that, and in a day or two, that video will be ready to go. And in short order, the next probably 2 or 3 days, they'll be up to speed. And after that, it's just all about traffic. And traffic is on Facebook. You're talking about what, 1 billion people now? More than 1 billion?
Easily more. Yep.
Yeah. So traffic is not an issue. You can niche as tightly as you want. You can make it work exactly as you want. You can set up several different campaigns. You can A, B, C test. You can do whatever you want to do. And it gives you the opportunity to really hone in where you want to go with it. And I want you to understand that video of you telling people, here are the things that you might not have known that were out there. Like, some certain categories we're going to talk about, because a lot of you do these things. College funding, planning, tax-free retirement, Social Security, those 3 things. Each one of those things has those buttons. Here's the 6 things that you didn't know about this. These are the shockers. To put them in a little bit of a little coarser vernacular, these are the oh shits. I didn't know that. How much make you do? I didn't know that. And if you're talking about seniors, it could be about what happens if they get if they have to use their money for Medicaid. For long-term care. There's so many things that you can put out there that people might vaguely think they know, but we can articulate those in very specific ways.
Yeah.
And the great thing you get out of this is that there will be many people that will hear or see what you have there, that little interview, and it's going to be, here's how to get onto our seminar, to book an appointment with me. If you'd like to talk to me personally, click here. So you get to start having appointments right away.
Yeah.
And the thing about this is, and I was talking to one of the gentlemen today, once this thing is built, it becomes a case of literally every single day adding more to the funnel. You just set it up so that you set up your seminars like you might set one up every 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. And once you fill this one, you're working on the next one, or you're working on the overflow, or you're working on that. And you just keep doing that. Once you build that funnel and you tune that in, that is literally a machine to drive people to you. This is the proactive side of this. This is how you go get the people. The reactive side is where you step out there and say, if anybody's looking for it, we'll react to that. We'll learn about it using the websites and all that stuff. But we are focusing on this initially because this is the way you go out and get business. And because it's out there to be had, Mark, I want to touch more on how profound the impact is for authority marketing.
Yeah.
Share a couple stories about what this has done to people, because if you haven't done this, guys, some of you guys have done books and things like that. Those are great. Those are powerful, but nothing beats video, guys. So go ahead, Mark.
No. I think more than any other type of detached information giving, whether you give a book away, you give a PDF or anything like that, video above all else is probably the most effective one at building trust. Because people can not only hear what you're saying, they can actually see your face. They can see the person who's talking with them. It not only builds trust in you as a person, but it'll also build trust in your product or your service. And that's simply because most of us always like the opportunity to try before we buy, if we can. Seeing your product or hearing about your service on video almost allows a potential client to try your service and then allow themselves to be convinced to buy it. We all heard this age-old saying, a picture tells 1,000 words, but a video explains everything. Another thing that's great about video is that, you can give away a book, you can give away this, that, and the other. Most people nowadays don't have time to read a book. If you give them a handout, they probably won't even read that either. But if you give them a video to look at, then most people will actually look at the video. Books.
Can I throw one thing in there that you've made so clear to me?
Yep.
You got to give them a good video.
Yeah.
Cannot overstate the fact that if you look at how we look on the cameras, we are crystal clear. I see Mark, we've used other forms that didn't have this. This is absolutely crystal clear. This is HD definition. It's tragic you have to see me this way, but that's what we get. But at least you feel like you know me. And think about it. If you look at this and you're talking to somebody, and when I say talking to somebody, even though you're not talking, you feel like you're in the conversation.
Yeah. And
that makes a big difference. And if the sound is good and the picture quality is good, the lighting we can make sure that you can see that yourself. You can take a look at it and just, do I have shadows all over the face? Can you see my face? Do I look lifelike? Do I look crystal clear? If you do, that video, it's as though they've met you. It makes you real and it elevates you. It doesn't seem like you're just another person. It's like, that's an important person there on video. And I can't overstate that. It's weird how many people, see something that you do on video and come up to you and say, oh, I saw your thing.
Yeah, I've had that many times. I mean, I do videos, podcasts and so forth. And with some of those, we've also got live seminars that we do. And you get people come up to you in the seminar room, and they're talking to you like you're a long lost friend. And they forget that while they have seen you, while they know a lot about you, you don't know them from Adam.
Yeah.
But no, the important thing is the relationship has been built, and the trust, and the how can I put that? Even the admiration is there, and that's a powerful, powerful tool. It has to be used sensibly, obviously.
Right.
Can I interrupt here? Roy is asking what kind of camera to use. I know Don responded, but if Mark, if you could kind of go into a little bit of detail about that, and would an iPhone camera suffice?
Yes, an iPhone camera will do very well if you're recording video. For things like this, we use a Logitech C920. It's an iPhone. Have you got one? You got a 920 there?
I dropped that into the thing. If you're going to do it, the Logitech records directly from your computer.
It does, yeah.
The microphone and the camera, like I just got the iPhone 10. And the reason I got it is because I also got one of these gimbals, which is one of these things where the camera sits in. That's what they use on that. It's not really that expensive, but it's really cool. It does some amazing things. It's way smarter than I am, so it'll take some studying. But once you start doing some videos, Frank Lehane, who's in apparently some kind of horribly back noise time warp thing, can't speak. But Frank has sat down and recorded a number of videos, and we saw his first one. And Frank, I love you, man, but it was awful. And by awful, I mean quality of it was terrible. And he got so much better. He really improved quickly, and he did a phenomenal job. And he's going to do so great with these questions we ask. And you know, I think Frank, if he was able to talk and be heard, would tell you that it's not like he's like it's just he just is himself on the thing. And the best thing about an interview video is you don't have to, you know, it's not like you have to perform. You just have to answer questions like you're having a conversation.
Yeah.
So that recorded conversation, comes across as information, not sales. It elevates you as the expert because I ask you what's up, or, you know, however you do that. And you know, if you want to have somebody else interview, you know, no problem. We want you to know that an interview video is incredibly valuable.
It is.
And, you know, the stuff that we're going to do is all going to be posted. It's going to be on iTunes. People are going to be able to go to get it. There's a couple other places you put it to, but again, this is the master for all those things. Mark does, but you know, he's, you know, how many businesses have you built with podcasts now, Mark?
Oh, I've lost count, to be honest. One of the questions you asked me last week made me go back and look at some of my earlier videos, and there's still some from 10 years ago online. You know, and it is quite.
Did video exist 10 years ago? I thought that was invented in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, you know, we had to put extra coal on if we wanted to do a hot video, but you know, it's.
VHS tapes has been around a while.
Yeah.
But some of the most profitable videos I've done, either for myself or for other people, have been just on an iPhone.
Right.
You know, and it's amazing how brilliant a video you can get if you just actually do it. Would anyone like to know what's the most important video you can make for your business? If you want to stick your hands up in the chat, I will answer the question. If nobody sticks their hands up, I won't answer the question.
Or you can do.
You've got quite a few hand raises there.
Yeah, they're popping up.
Okay. All right. You're going to be very surprised. The most important video you can ever make for your business is the first one. Because once you've done the first one, all the others are not only easier to do, they get better and better. But if you don't make the first one, you'll never make a video. You can't deny that logic.
That is absolutely true. And I will tell you this, just as you talk about that, I just thought about something else. I did a live online video recording, it's got to be 5-6 years ago. And I still get clients from it. And it's just posted on YouTube. It's not, people just find it. And it's like, hey, you still doing that? Yeah. Well, I am. Yeah. Okay. They want to do it. And that speaks to the fact that videos don't get tired. Videos don't take naps. When people are having insomnia, like I often suffer from, if they're looking for answers for questions, your video could be the one. if you properly tag them, if you properly do the placement of them and promote them,
Yep.
you'd be amazed at how quickly you can show up so that your videos, even before you have a website, a full website, your videos can be where people end up. And that's a huge benefit, because, again, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I gave you all the stats on video. It's astounding. It is, all the things, and I can go back over it, but to do a couple videos, you need to do a video of yourself where you talk about why people, your USP, your unique selling proposition. What is it that you offer people that they don't have? Because if you do a video a few times of yourself doing it, you're going to start to understand what it looks like and how you're saying it. Yeah. And you'll find that you'll do it a lot better. It's like watching if you golf, guys or ladies, if you're a golfer and somebody videotapes your swing, all of a sudden you can see what you're doing wrong. Yeah. Okay, you can see how you're coming across. Then after that, get the hot button interview. Okay, create a hot button interview. If you don't have it, or you want to get it done, again, you want to make sure the quality's right. You want to have it. Ideally, you do want to have it post-produced so that it looks professional and tightened up. But even if you don't do that, just for practice, do it a few times. Yeah. That's one of the things that, doing the seminar webinar program, it's once you build the funnel and we do that, we can A/B test, we can keep doing that. And then once it's going, it's just constant, it's just traffic every day, literally every single day. More people will be exposed to you and get a chance to do it. And guess what? These videos, they drop into your LinkedIn, they drop into YouTube, they drop into all the other places. Yeah. They can be shared with people. They can be linked on your emails. You can send them for those of us, a lot of the people that have worked with us, we built huge groups for. You can send a link out to the video. People will watch a video before they'll do anything. Yeah, I mean, they will watch an interesting video. If you can tell a story, it works like a charm. So honestly, the simplicity of making that video requires nothing. It requires, you don't have to write a script. You don't have to be dazzling on the webinar or anything else. You just have to answer the questions the way that, best tells your story. And and we know you can do that because you're all in the business and this is your story.
Yeah. And let's face it, if you can talk with a client in the flesh, it's even easier to talk to a camera.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, what's great about this right here, which is Zoom, when we're working with you, we literally get to see exactly what you're doing, and then it goes high def from the camera that we'll send you, the high quality cardioid mic that you have goes directly into the cloud, so it is literally high def right on the spot, and that's very, very, very simple for us. I say simple. It maintains the absolute quality of it. It's time consuming, but it's straightforward to go through and edit it, get rid of the ahs, the ums, get rid of the bad takes where you started saying something, I don't like the way I said that, let's try again, ask the question again. That kind of thing is pretty straightforward to do. So I can't overemphasize that. At least do one, and if you don't, if you're not going to use us, fine. Now I understand, but do them. Just start doing videos. Yep. Start doing videos. Start sharing them with people. Get people to look at them. Get comments on them. Get people to tell you how it looked, what they liked about it, what they didn't. Ask your friends. Ask your family. Your family's tough because they can be. My kids are brutal. My boys, God, things they'll say to me hurts my heart. But well, it's pretty much nothing but sarcasm around here. Yeah. The bottom line is that if you
some of it isn't sarcasm, some of it is just straight insults.
And there's that. So there it is. But if you take the time to get into the videos, you will find that you get better at everything else you're doing. Because every time you present the information, Kate, would you kill that, please? Every time you get into that information, every time you share those things, every time you present that to people, you will be better and better at it. And you might do the same video 4 or 5 times. But let me show you some silly stuff. Here's my iPhone 10 camera with lots of messages. Wow. Okay. This right here is a little mini iPad, tripod, which I happen to have screwed onto my gimbal, which you don't need. Gimbal's a toy. This is a toy. Now, it's really cool. It's only $100, but it's a toy until you start doing it. But this right here came with, where the heck did I put it? Anyway, it has a clamp. Where did I put my clamp? All right. I'm redoing my office, guys. Anyway, but this holds a clamp that holds it just like this, and you place it right at you, and you can set it up and just speak to your iPhone.
Yeah.
And the you can do video editing on iMovie. I guess if they use iMovie, and there's I forget the Windows one, Windows Media, whatever it is, all those things. That's a skill. I mean, to do the video editing, that's gonna take some time, take some work. It's not a small thing.
No,
but
and there are some online sites as well that you can edit video on, if you've got a reasonable connection, because it takes time to get the file up and bring it down again.
Right.
So, there's no, as far as equipment goes or software goes, there's no excuse not to do video. Exactly. There are only really 3 things that affect how good your video is going to be. That's your budget, the equipment you've got, and how far you are up the learning curve. But, your first video is always going to be your worst. So if you get the first one out of the way, then everyone after that gets better and better and better until you get to the point that, making a video is something that you'll do even before you'll send an email. If you might want to say, well, I just want to show something. No, I'll tell you what, I'll make a quick video and I'll send the video. Because once you've made the video once, you can then send that to answer the same question time and time again, where you can put it on your website and have it as part of your FAQs. Video is such an adaptable medium. Not to use it is you're not doing yourselves any favors by not using it.
It's criminal.
It is. I was going to say that, but I didn't.
I will indict them for that. And here's the other thing, guys. If you have an iPhone or if you have a video camera, I've got other video cameras. If you have a really good camera, some of you might have great cameras. I'm sure someone out there is into photography. I've got I'll pull it out in a second. I've got it's a mirrorless Sony that takes amazing video, just astounding. But the iPhone 10 or in the iPhone 8 I had, hard to tell the difference. It's so hard to tell the difference. But here's the thing that I would tell you. If you start recording yourself frequently, even if you're not planning to make a video, just put the thing up and start doing what you're doing and just talk to it like it's a person. What you're going to find out is after a while, you forget it's there.
Yeah.
That's when your videos are great. When it's just like you're just talking and having a conversation, and when that comes across, that's the best acting anyone ever did. Oh, Frank just put down, I just got an iPhone 10. Good for you, Frank. It's fun. So again, if you will take the time to just go out and get a couple, just a little bit of a tripod for your phone, and I will find that clamp. It's here someplace.
In fact, you don't need an expensive clamp like that. You can get a $2 clamp from the $2 shop if you have them over there.
$10 Amazon, guys. Come on.
Yeah, that's the deluxe model.
Yeah. So I went big dollar. Actually, I just saw it. And I just clicked. Yeah, I'll take that. Click.
In fact, you can buy a cheap selfie stick. The ones that you have a little clamp on the end that sort of stretches out. That has got the thread in the bottom of it to go on top of a tripod, and that will do the job.
Right.
Just hold it still. That's all.
Right. But if you just put up those videos. Oh, and another thing, always landscape. Don't do, because when you go to repurpose it, you can repurpose landscape very easily. You cannot repurpose portrait. Portrait always. If you ever watch those videos where they give you that little sliver in the middle. And particularly if you go on Facebook, where the video is a little narrow portrait, and then they sort of replicate it behind it, because you can't. They're so annoying. So it's very, very important that you use the landscape setting, because that's going to be much more helpful to you. And it's also the what do you call it?
And just for those who may not be too familiar, when you don't go looking for the landscape setting, it just means holding the camera like that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep.
instead of like that. I mean, a lot of people will hold the camera like that for do selfies and so forth, which is fine for selfie. But if you want to put, Frank, as Donna said, if you want to put something on the web, then it needs to have been taken like that to take up the whole. That's why when you go to the movies or when you look at your telly, it's like that, not like that.
Exactly. So we've sort of gotten what I wanted to hammer on today was USP video, hot button video, your 10 videos, preferably as an interview, okay? And that those things are highly repurposable.
Yeah.
I will then say that I will scroll through here, and if anyone has questions, we've got Mark on here. We don't always have Mark, because he lives in a strange and different land than us.
In Europe.
I want to raise your hands. Can you see all the hands, Amber? I cannot.
Yeah, raising hands can work, but there's also a Q&A area where I've directed all of the questions and have answered the ones that have come in.
All right. Frank's raising his hand. I'm going to allow him to talk, but I hope he got out of his car, stopped eating the phone or whatever he was doing. Frank, you with us?
I don't know if you can hear me right now.
Oh, way better. That's perfect.
Well, I've parked. I've parked, so
Yeah. Okay. So, give us your feedback on how you feel, how prepared after our conversation, how prepared you feel to do your interview video.
I'm ready to go. Oh, by the way, Saturday I got the stuff.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what I wanted to tell you was what I wanted you to address was
Sunday I got the stuff. Yeah. So
I wanted you to address how well you were prepared for that, as far as us providing you with enough background and how well we delivered that to you. Was that sort of let you address that?
Well, first of all, I was blown away by the idea that you're actually in my business, because you seem to be able to nail simply what it is that I do in my business more simply and clearly than I have ever been able to do it. And you're actually not even in my business. So there was that. The other thing of actually, you had already done quite a bit of work before I even came on the call, which was very encouraging, because I was feeling kind of a little lost. But now I'm feeling very confident. And that's why when I say I'm ready to go, it's like, yeah, I just got to get my backdrop ready, and then we can go and do the interview.
Yeah, super. Yeah. And so you got the equipment, and it's real simple. It's 2 USB plugs. And have you played around with it at all, or?
Nope, not yet. But I'll be doing that in the next day, probably tomorrow when I have some free time, and then yeah.
All right, super. Well, I just wanted to make sure that what I wanted everybody to hear was that you were at one point somewhat intimidated, because it seemed like a very complex thing, but a quick phone call and a little bit of conversation, and it cleared right up and became very straightforward for you.
Yeah, and I think in addition to that, what I had already done as a neophyte with my awful videos. Thank you, Don.
I said your first one was bad.
Thank you for that. I love it.
This is what he did. He gave himself. He put his face in the video like this. So I'm like, he could not have given himself a worse setup. He looked awful, because like anytime you get this close to somebody, it's that bad. But now they're great. They really are. You do it. And I told you when it was great too. But they were awful. Your first one was painful. I
made sure I didn't have anything hanging in my teeth there. But no, I was it's like the work that I put in front there was just, look, I got to get something out there, and what Mark said, your most important video is your first one, and I have several of them. So it's like, okay, yeah, it is true. It just gets easier. So yeah.
Yeah, and look how far you've come just because you sat down on an almost daily basis and just thrown up a video.
That's
Just
it.
created a video and went from there. So that's it.
That's
All right.
it.
Hey, thanks for sharing, my friend. Go ahead, Amber.
So our next question, we have quite a few questions here. Thanks, Frank. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. So Wesley Hunt, his question is, should we be standing when we do the video?
It depends on how comfortable you are standing. I mean, I stand all day. I work at a standing desk, so I'm very comfortable standing. There are advantages when you stand. One, if you've got a sort of a bit of a tummy, it doesn't look so bad. You project your voice better. You are more confident when you stand. So from the point of view of presentation, it is a lot better, yes. But it's how comfortable you feel. The other thing is that when you sat down, particularly if you're facing the camera, I mean, I'm going to give you an example. This is my sort of normal size hand, and this is my big hand. And that's how knees look when you were sat down in front of a camera. Sometimes your knees and your feet and so forth, if they're in shot, can look quite large. So the real keys are just framing the shot properly. I mean, roughly how I am here is about right if you're doing a face-to-video. The ideal spacing above your head is when you put your hand on your head, you should just about be able to see a finger on top. If it's like that, then you're too close. If it's like that, then you're too far away. That's about right.
I will tell you, one of the nice things about the camera that the Logitech that we use is if you look, I'm just sitting here and I can bring myself in, I can bring myself back, I can go up and down, I can change the angle, put myself exactly like he wants me right there. Okay, there you go. Now I'm exactly in the right spot. I like a little more, I need room for my hair. But then also you can fix if it's too dark, it's too bright. If you feel like you're looking funny, contrast, got all this stuff, and it's so easy to sit there and mess with it and get it just the way you want. And then once it look, and we'll be sitting if we're doing it with you, we'll be looking at the other end and we'll say, okay, looks great. Go from that, and that's how sometimes you can't tell for yourself. You want to know how other people see it. It's sometimes hard to give yourself a good review, but somebody else will kind of go, yeah, perfect. I can see exactly what you're saying. So
awesome. The other thing about whether you should be sitting or standing is what's behind you. If you want to present a professional image or something like that, if you've got a bookcase or a nice tidy office or a nice tidy looking room, or just a part of it, you can use just a wall or whatever it happens to be. You want it to reflect the professional attitude that you want to project.
Exactly.
That's perfect, because that was Jim's question on a recommendation for a backdrop. And then the other question we have is from Dan, and he is wondering when he's going to receive his things, because he's been an AMP member for quite a while.
Dan Everest is Dan. I need to talk to you because you were looking at doing one where you did your own stuff, and I wanted to talk to you about getting you the high def camera and the microphone. I think you said you had that. If not, then your stuff will be on the way today. So I'll call you immediately after this. No, I will call you after the call. All right. So Dan, I'll call you, Dan. I'll call you right after. Anything else? Go ahead.
Mark, I just didn't know if you had anything else to recommend for a backdrop, if you wanted to add anything on that, but that's all of our questions so far.
No, I mean, just keep it plain, simple and tidy.
Right.
You don't want people distracted by what's behind you. You want them, they're going to be distracted anyway. So the least distraction you could, the least extension of that distraction you can give people, the better.
Right. And it's easy to buy. It's not expensive. If you're going to be doing a lot of video, and once you start doing it, you should be doing a lot of video. Buying a little backdrop like I have here. I've got different things, but it's very typical to see people being interviewed in front of a gray interview screen, because that's a TV thing. So if you just want to look like you're being, for the interview stuff, it's kind of perfect for that. Amber's at a house, so you see Mark's got a whole. You want to show me a little studio there, Mark? Because it's kind of fun. This is what Mark has set up a studio in his house. Remember, this is Europe, so it's a little more. Their styles are slightly different than what we use, but the setup is perfect, and that it just looks like a very comfortable place. The idea for his studio is for it to be more personal, not so much pure business stuff. He does a lot of other things.
But I mean, I can turn it around and dress it up. We can put books on the shelf. We can do all sorts of things, whatever we need. I mean, the whole of this room is a studio room.
Exactly.
Dan wants to know, where did you buy your background, Don? Amazon.
Gray photography backdrop. And it comes, you can buy a frame. I think the frame's like 20-something bucks, and it's not expensive. It really isn't. I just paid the most I've ever paid for one. I think it was $26 or something, but it's really big. So you can, create a really big backdrop. So, and by the way, if you just have a sheet,
that does the job. I've used bed sheets.
The gray sheet, whatever. It doesn't have to be especially done. And to get a couple of you go to the home improvement store and get a couple clamps. Here's the funny thing, guys, and this is what's weird. It doesn't matter what you see. It only matters what the camera sees. And there can be, like right now, my office is completely trashed. Nothing is right here. I would never let anybody see this. But guess what? Doesn't matter, because nobody can see it. I can, as far as you know, everything's perfect. And that's all you have to do. So when you're looking at it, don't look around. Look at the screen, because you can obviously see yourself back here with Zoom, and you can go, okay, looks fine. There you go, and away you go. So that the doesn't matter what you can see. It only matters what the camera can see. That's more Mark's brilliance, because I don't know if you've ever seen it. Sometimes there are some cool shots where if you've got a nice professional studio set up, like they'll do a shot from behind all the work, all the cameras, which really looks cool. But you got to have all that going on. If you don't have that going on, then you don't want that shot. That's not the shot you're going to take. So that's how it goes. But yeah, it's make believe. It's all pretend. It's all you don't have to be perfect all around. As long as you can present that image in that little space, you only have to make that one little space look good. So it doesn't require a lot. Any other questions?
No, we are good on questions.
Okay. Well, there's two secrets. Are you interested in the real secrets of making business video?
Yeah, and while you do that, I'm going to ask Amber to do something. Amber, can you set up a poll and just ask? We've got a couple of hands. We've got hands going up for the secrets. Amber, would you set up a poll and ask people two questions? One is, was this helpful? And the second thing is, are they going to do video? Not with us. I mean, just, are you going to start doing video? Are you committed to doing video? Because we can expand and start doing more about video techniques and editing and stuff like we can start talking about stuff like that and help out with that if that's what you guys want. So are you going to do video? Okay. Was this helpful? Are you going to do video? Would you like us to do more about video, more training? I mean, we're going to do more, but do you want that to be a focus? So can you ask those three questions? Perfect. All right. Let us in on the secrets, Master Mark.
I've given you the first one almost.
Okay.
The first real secret with video, number one secret, is to pick up your camera and start.
Yep.
That's the first one. And then the second secret is to simply let yourself get better with each one. And you might say, well, how can you say you're going to get better with each one? Everybody does. How can I put that?
It's inevitable.
It is. I mean, whatever roles we get pushed into in life, whether it's being a parent, you didn't start out as a perfect parent. You learnt on the job. You do the same with video. If you're a teacher, you don't start out as a perfect teacher. You learn on the job. Even somebody like a blogger doesn't have to write perfect blogs to be an effective, profitable blogger. They just have to do a blog post often, probably every day, if not more. And even a business, a new business model isn't perfect when it comes out the gates. it's something that is practiced, iterated, and it gets better with time. And so will you when you're making videos.
Here's another
Start.
tip. Yes, exactly. Let me give you another tip too, guys. That's really amazing. They did some work, and my good friend Ford Stokes, who was a Fortune 500 chief marketing officer, and Ford and I share a lot of things and work back and forth and work on things together. He's a brilliant guy. And he shared with me a story that journalism students in one school were assigned to write like 800 words a day about some topic every day. I want to say it was for 3 months, which sounds like a lot. It's not. You'll read a little thing and then write about it. Read a little thing, write about it, okay? And then post it. Just, stick it up on wherever. Just post it on the blog, post it, didn't matter. By the end of that 90 days, virtually every single one of them was being sought as an expert in that field. They picked whatever field, whatever niche, and virtually every single one of them was cool, Paul, look at that. Virtually every single one of them was picked as an expert. They were getting on TV. They were getting interviewed for the newspaper. They were getting sought after, and they all got great jobs. They all got great jobs, okay? If you do it with video, it's even faster.
Yeah.
And now here's another highly important expert tip. Have your videos transcribed.
Yeah.
Having them transcribed and then posting that along with the video gets all of those words, all the information, more exposure on the web. And you can take advantage of exactly this. And you think it's hard to get 800 words. You can talk 800 words, every single one of you, without batting an eyelash, okay? Because that's what we do. So that's very, very powerful, Yeah,
I'm just going to reinforce what you've said there earlier. Some of the people I've worked with, when they've started doing videos, they've been not only contacted by newspapers for interviews and that sort of thing. They've been picked up by TV studios as well.
Yeah, that also. Yeah, absolutely.
But the reason they're picked up by TV studios is that the people responsible for bringing people in for interviews on the program have already seen what you're like on camera. And, those who've had more practice are the ones that get picked to go on TV.
Exactly. Right. Now, I have a perfect face for radio, but, TV is more powerful. So that's it. So how are we doing? Is this, how long is the poll running?
It runs as long as I'd like. We have 75% of people have voted, so I can stop it if you'd like.
Well, let's give them a couple more minutes. Hey, if you haven't voted, would you take a second to do it just so we can know? And all this is going to do is tell us what's up. Indifferent. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Daniel was saying that he's going to do a video every day, and he's got a coach friend who's been encouraging him to do the exact same thing. So, it's not just us who are saying you should be doing this. It's the market actually demanding it.
Hey. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Awesome. So, I guess we can pretty much wrap it up. I guess it looks like the ones who haven't voted, but so there's the results, guys. Did you share it? Did you hit the share button?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone can see it.
All right. So we've got pretty overwhelming numbers of, we got a couple folks who aren't either already know about videos or aren't really that committed to the videos, but
that's fine.
It's 95% want us to do more training on it, so maybe they're just not ready for it or whatever, and I get that. Video, and here's the thing, and this is why Mark has only said 3 or 4 times about getting started and doing one. Video is not as hard as you think.
No, not anywhere near as hard.
It's and anything, all of the technical stuff, all the other things, honestly, that can all be staffed out. You can hire people that you can get people to do that. There are lots of people with those skills. Lots and lots of. There are so many 20-somethings who are desperate to do that job. I promise you.
Yeah. In fact, if you just want to get started, I would probably say that your teenage kids or your neighbor's kids will probably know how to do a video like that because they're doing selfies every day.
And oh, by the way, especially if you ever work with younger people, if you do any college planning or anything like that, Snapchat, Instagram, all of those, Facebook, so much of communication now for them. And remember, they always lead the way. The youngest among us bring us to where we're going to be.
Yep.
That's how they communicate with each other. I think Snapchat's now the biggest, most interactions per day. Is that right, Mark?
Could well be.
Yeah. It's in the billions. It's absurd. But there's nothing. I can think of nothing that you can do, or any road you can go down, to promote yourself, to prospect, to market, to brand, to anything that remotely compares to video for power.
Nope, that's very true. And the thing is that people want information via video, and the sensible, the forward-thinking business person will be giving them that. And those forward-thinking business people are the ones who will get the business, while those who stay away from video will be overtaken by those who are using video.
Yep. And, again, if you want to dominate, everybody's on the internet, and video dominates the internet. So if you dominate video, you dominate the internet. Yep. And again, there's a whole lot of videos out there by people. There's a guy named Jordan Peterson. If you never read him, he's brilliant. I watched him. But a guy named Jordan Peterson, he's a social psychologist up in Toronto, I think. He's up in Canada. But he got into a thing about free speech and all that stuff. But once I got looking at him, my friend and I, who have polar opposite, my best friend and I have polar opposite views sort of on political things, but we both think the guy's just brilliant. And some of his videos are just chatting. But what happened was he's making millions and millions of dollars now because people just want to see his videos, and they do what's called Patreon, which is they just make donations to him. They set up to say, I'm going to give you money every month because I want you to keep doing what you're doing. That's how and he's a professor at a school in Canada and is now world famous. They fly him around the world to get his opinion on stuff. Now, he's a brilliant guy, but the fact of the matter is his initial videos were nothing more than literally, I'm sitting in front of a video like this. That's what he did. That's how he started. And now they're a little better, but they're still not super polished. They're just recording what he does. All he did was record what he said, record what he did, and then slap it up on YouTube. So that's what you got going on, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, guys. We're right at an hour. If you want, like we said, we're deeply into the whole seminar webinar prospecting program. That is a very extremely exciting. It's coming together beautifully. We're loving what's happening with it. We're really excited. If you do Social Security seminars or want to, if you do college planning seminars or want to, if you do tax-free planning seminars and want to, or if you've got a good retirement planning seminar and you want to promote it and see the massive difference that you can get with video and social media, we'd love to be able to help you out with that. More than happy to do that. We put together a special initial program. We want to take 10 guys and explode their business and then use that to our testimonials and take it forward. So Mark and I are totally committed to that. Very excited. We're like I said, once it's going, it is literally a machine. It's just traffic, and let's turn the volume up. So that's it. Amber, thank you so much for hosting and polling and all that. Thank you all for being here today. We look forward to talking to you next week or sooner. And I hope you have a great day and shoot a couple videos. It's easy.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye all.
Bye.